Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Power Half Hour Unstoppable Business Owner. And I am your host, Dorothy Odell, for this evening. Sorry, guys, we are having some technical difficulties trying to get everybody's hearing each other. So that's why we're running a little bit late tonight. But I just want to give a shout out to our sponsor. Did you know that doTERRA essential oils can help support the body physically, mentally, and emotionally and help you achieve optimum health? Aromatherapy is a very powerful tool. And for more information, contact our doTERRA oil specialist, Bonnie, at beoilywithbonnie.com or give her a text or call at 810-414-0929. Now we have the pleasure of bringing to the screen Abby Bassie-Cripps. Welcome to the show, Abby.
And thank you. Thank you for bringing me on.
Absolutely. So tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do.
Well, a little bit about me is the fact that I used to be a truck driver for 30 years, and I retired in 2015 to do this passion of mine of helping people with their computers. And that combination of patience, knowledge, get smiles back on people's faces. And I've been doing the tech support aspect since the 80s. So
Okay.
I've kept up to date all along. And uh, and I've always enjoyed the interaction with people. Being able to, they come to me in a panic, I'm in trouble, and by the end of the session, they got a grin.
Right. Right. I Yes, that is powerful. I don't know about you, but when I have an IT problem, I want to scream and throw my computer out the window.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Generally speaking. To have people like you is absolutely amazing. And so you said you were in trucking for 30 years.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Now I was in trucking for 10 years, but I was not a driver. I was in the office. And so the pitfalls of trucking, I know. And anybody who was an over the road driver for sure, you're an over the road driver. I don't know how many accidents I have seen in my lifetime and seen the pictures. And I give kudos to anybody that's out there driving the big rig because it's a job that is a thoughtless
Yes.
nobody, everybody wants to cut you off. And you know 80,000 pounds going down the highway does not stop easily, and I think people don't realize that. It's like your house trying to stop as it's moving, and people don't realize that. They just like shoot the finger at you guys. And it when I see that, and if I'm in a car with somebody who does that, I give them an education.
Good. They deserve it.
I know, right? But I mean, I've ran into the occasional truck driver that shouldn't have been on the road either. Let's put it that
Yes.
way.
Yes. Yes.
So, what made you decide to go from trucking to IT?
Well, the when I never thought, yeah, I've been doing it since the 80s and never thought of it as a career because I've always known that IT is very masculine as well as trucking. But I had an advantage. I'm 6'4", large woman, and I had the ability to not take, not let them take advantage of me. And so the
Yeah.
trucking that went through fine, but 30 years of it was enough. And I finally said, okay, I'm retiring from it. But I didn't want to be a couch potato when I was done. So I was humming and hawing, what do I do? And that dawned on me. Well, I know all this tech knowledge and I love the communication with people and helping them. Why not do it full time?
Mhm.
And it was a transition that was logical for me to do.
Right,
Instead of going for a job in the field, I'm doing the job the way I think it should be done.
right, right. I love that. I love that. And so, what would you say that you had to overcome in your life to get to where you're at today, within your business, within your life and things like that?
Wow. The masculinity of dominance of both trucking and IT has been a big thing to overcome. it's been so male dominated for so long, especially the Canadian side. You know, the Americans accepted women drivers for a long time, but not the Canadian side. And so I had to prove myself. And to joke around, to make a point, I had truckers come to me saying, "You're a B," and say the full word. And
Right.
I turn around and say, "Thank you. What made me such a B?" And they would just get all pissed off and walk away. And but I was always better. I had to be better at
Mhm.
everything I did. And you know, when it comes to the IT, I felt that I knew enough that, and I'm still learning every day. There's still
Right.
things to learn, um, but I knew enough that I could create those smiles,
Right.
and and it turns out the majority of my customers are business women who rely on their computers heavily every day and can't afford to have their computer in the shop for a week.
Right.
Instead, they have their computer down for 2 hours ish with me
Mhm.
instead of a week with or days to 2 weeks in the shop.
Right. Yeah, that is very frustrating. Very frustrating. I have a laptop that's broken. Maybe I should send it down to you to see if you could do something with it because it's off at the hinge, broke on it, and
Oh
things like
yes,
that. So
I
I
fix
don't know.
those.
The laptops don't stay. They don't last as long as they used to. I remember my very first computer. Oh my gosh, I was a teenager. I'm 46 now. My very first computer was $2,500, and it was one of those big ones that sat on the desk. This guy had built it. He was out of Tech 2000 in Dresden, Ontario, and that sucker I made sure lasted for a long time.
Well, you know what? A desktop computer can last longer because you can always do those minor updates that you need to get done. A
Right,
laptop can't really do much except replace a fan or replace a hard drive or
right,
RAM. That's about it
right,
in a laptop. Anything else just costs too much. A
right,
hinge, I've actually repaired a computer with a bad hinge, and it didn't cost that badly. So it was worth the investment for them.
right. And it's funny. Does anybody have desktops anymore, or is everybody switched to laptop?
Well, actually, I have one, two, three, four PCs in my house. And I have two iMacs, one I'm talking to you on,
Right,
and with a second monitor,
right.
and two laptops.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I was bad. I don't know how many laptops we have in this house, but it's because I go through one but I don't want to get rid of it. So, I just, it sits there in the bag, and then my husband has one. So I think I have like three laptops of mine in this house that need some kind of loving at one point or another because it got so bogged down and stuff like that. So, yeah, I just want to go to the comments for one quick second. Shout out to Gabe, welcome back to the LinkedIn world. Or he's coming in from Facebook, but he just got back to social media. He took some time off, so welcome. He is also a live streamer as well, and has his own show, so thank you so much. And so what is the one thing that you love the most about what you do?
Well, coincidentally, tech, I love the tech part, but really the best part is the communication with the customer. As a trucker, I was prived from communication with people. So many hours on the road, you know, the CB was not enough.
Right.
And so that is my most pride and joy is bringing people from a panic mode to the joyful mode.
Right.
That's my most joyful, most desired part.
That's awesome. Not too many people, I've been saying that customer service has been going to the wayside a lot lately, no matter, on different places that you go to. And I always try and my best to make sure that I give that experience to my clients as well. Right. Because there's so much negativity going on in the world, and there's just so much, everybody's so anxious to get from point A to point B, and they want it done yesterday, and things like that. So it's a now society and a now
Yes.
world, and people want everything yesterday. And so it can be quite draining on us as business owners to put up with that. But I always say start your day with gratitude, and continue continue your day through that, and it's going to
Yes.
shine, bring some light to their darkness, and eventually they'll flip it around.
Yes. Well, I like the idea. I do that. That's why I've been shaking my head so much. Yes.
Yeah.
That is so much me. And the idea is that hopefully that absorbs into them as well.
Mhm.
Like pass it on type of thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's not to say I don't have my days where I'm like one
We
of
all
those
do. We're
people.
human.
Wow. Okay, so my business partner likes to say, "No, we are celestial beings in a human form."
Cool.
So I'm just like, okay, whatever. God knows my heart. So, so what three things do you help your clients overcome, Abby?
Um, Three things to help them overcome. One is um, a slow computer. Uh, Bring it up to its original speed. Um, the uh, Protect them in a proactive manner with
Mm,
internet safety, because a lot of the things that I come across are because of poor internet safety, and it's not their fault. It's not taught in school, and the hackers are so sophisticated.
mhm.
The bad people are so sophisticated that
Yes.
they can really trick us into doing things that are wrong with our computer and not even know it.
Right.
So that's two. Third, I guess, is bringing that joy back to them.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. I love that. And so is there any and you're out of Brampton, Ontario, right?
Uh,
Uh
I was from Brampton.
Brampton.
I'm now
Okay.
living in Emsdale, which is north of Huntsville,
Okay.
in a little town where I'm in the woods.
Love it. I love that. Another fellow Canadian. I don't get to speak to fellow Canadians too often, so it's nice to have them on the show. Um
Nice.
yeah, a lot of our guests are American. Love them too. I always say that I'm part Yankee, so I bring both. I'm born and raised in Canada, but my great grandmother was from Duran, Michigan.
Oh
So
yes.
yeah, it's just one of those things, that's
I
I don't
joke.
know. I think with when we what do you call that? COVID hit. I think the world opened up for everybody. So is your customer base just focused more in Canada, or are you worldwide as well?
Well, actually, when I first started in 2015, those first few years, I was only focused on the locals. But it's so sparse. It's
Mhm.
hard to get the people to know that I'm available.
Right.
So it was a struggle. Then COVID hit and my business tanked.
Hmm.
And because I was only focusing on the local people. Well, I gave it some thought and realized, well, I do a lot of my stuff online. Why
Hmm.
can't I do it all?
Right.
And if that's the case, why can't I deal with Americans, Canadians, Europeans, Australians, anywhere?
Sky's the limit. I love that.
Yeah. The joy of Zoom. You can deal with
Right.
people anywhere.
How does that, okay, so just walk me through this, because in my mind, as somebody who is not IT literate and can get very frustrated very easily when her computer does not work, how does that work when you're fixing somebody's computer and they're in Australia and you're here?
Well, I set my hours from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. I don't work at all. I That'd be just too much on anyone to work that many hours.
Mhm.
But I spread out my work, and the hours are long, are extended. That way, the Australians can pick a time where it's also good for them.
Mhm.
And I also use a program called AnyDesk as one of my popular programs, where I access their computer only with their permission. That's part of the reason for my security.
Right. Right.
I never, somebody wants me to access their computer. Uh, I never set it up so that I access without their consent of clicking on an accept button.
Right.
It's very important.
Right. I love that. Great. I just want to take a commercial break for one quick second.
Sure.
Again, I just want to thank, Be Oily with Bonnie. Have you heard of the cutting edge system to optimize your metabolic health? doTERRA's MetaPower just may be what you need. I personally have been using the MetaPower oil blend for the last month, and it's helped me with my appetite suppression. If you have any questions about this oil or any other oils, contact our oil expert Bonnie Herb at 810-414-0929 or go to her website www.beoilywithbonnie.com. Alrighty. So, Abby, is the one tip that you would give our viewers when they're listening in here? What's the best thing that they could do for their PC or laptop to run it at optimal health?
Well, once they have it at optimal health, whether it be brand new or having somebody like me take care of it,
Right.
one of many tips is to use their VPN all of the time, not just when they're out and about, but all of the time.
So you can get a VPN for your personal computer.
Yeah, I use VPN for my cell phone, my tablet, my computers, everything.
Okay, explain this to me. I have it on my work computer, but I just thought that was because I work for a corporation during the day. That's what that is. So tell us what a VPN is, because I'm clueless.
Okay, I'm glad you asked that, because I did want to give the explanation. There's two different types. There's a direct from your computer to the corporation, and that's a single tunnel from one to the other, and that cannot be hacked.
Right.
The computer, on the other hand, at either end can be hacked, and there's steps that can be done to protect that from happening. Okay, so the other VPN is where, let's say you go to Tim Hortons, McDonald's, doesn't matter where there's internet, you use a VPN to access a safe server, and that acts as a tunnel from your computer to that server and through the unsafe internet, which is McDonald's, Tim Hortons, etc.
Right.
And at that server, it goes to the internet, to what you wanted to go to, and comes back through that server. And that server, hackers can't attack.
Okay.
So it's a safety point. So and what VPN, for those who are listening, and what a VPN is a virtual private network. So the idea is it's private to that server, and in your case with work, it's work's server,
Mm-hmm.
and then your computer. So the idea is, let's say you're using webmail, or you're using Outlook, and you send an email, and you don't know it's going through to a hacker or past a hacker.
Right.
Well, as soon as they've got your IP, which is in the email, you don't see it. Once they've got your IP, they're into your network at home. So the idea is to stop that from happening. And if you're using a VPN, they can't get that IP. Okay. So whether you're using webmail or Outlook or Thunderbird, whatever,
mm-hmm.
They will not get your IP address to hack your home residence.
That's interesting. I didn't realize we just had for every, just the normal people.
Yeah.
Not big corporations is what I meant by the normal people. Let me be specific. I don't want anybody upset with that, but yeah. Well, that's interesting. I had no idea. No idea at all. Tim, I just joined us. Tim, did you know what a VPN was? Because I didn't. I just learned something new from Abby tonight. So thank you so much for that.
You're very welcome.
Wow. All right. And so where What is the worst? Oh, he said he just joined. What did he miss? Abby was just talking about VPNs, and that as specifically you being a business owner should have one, and that it's like a virtual tunnel between your computer and the network. So if I heard correctly, if I understood that correctly,
That's
so
basically
yeah.
correct.
Yes, so make sure you hooked up to a VPN, Tim, especially if you are at Tim Hortons or all those
McDonald's.
Starbucks.
Yeah,
Starbucks has one too. I learned
yeah,
that when I went to Illinois. I didn't know. I mean, for
yeah.
the price of their coffee or tea, you should get it for free.
I agree.
Well, I seriously, come on now. I uh Tim says, did you say Duncan? Does Duncan have free Wi-Fi? Tim, okay, so Tim's from Pennsylvania, and he's no, he didn't send me. Somebody when my dad passed away sent me a Tim Hortons or no, a Dunkin' Donut um gift card. And so Tim goes to Dunkin' Donuts all the time. And so his thing is Dunkin'. So when I actually did go to Dunkin' Donuts, I took a picture of it and I sent it to Tim and said, "Here, you're with me here." It's just one of those things. If you're on LinkedIn, guys, you really should be on LinkedIn because you get such great connections. It's like a whole family over there. Um, but that being said, yes. So, Abby, thank you so much for that words of wisdom. Because I mean, seriously, somebody like me had no clue. I just thought it was for big corporations.
Nope,
Um,
for everybody.
Perfect. Any other tips that you have for our viewers tonight?
One that goes along with the concept of VPN is having a separate router than your modem. So you have your modem coming from your ISP provider,
Right.
and nowadays it commonly come with a built-in router. So the idea is you ignore it, plug in a router that has safety installed in it, and because if you ever did have your IP uh, stolen, like
Mhm.
information wise, it would stop the hackers from coming into your home or small business.
Wow.
So the idea is that the router acts as a mini version of the server I was talking about for the VPN.
Okay. Well, I did that right because um we have our modem from the MNSI and our router we had bought one. So, hey, I did something right.
Yeah, now you got to add the safety settings.
Yeah, now yeah, I got to do that. One thing at a time, Abby.
Yeah, one thing at a time.
I'm one of those people. If I get more than two or three steps, I get overwhelmed. Especially when it
Yes,
comes to computers. I'm just like, just come and do it.
yeah. I actually spent 8 hours with a friend
Oh my.
formatting, saving her files, formatting her MacBook Pro, putting the files back on after we installed the safety software like an antivirus.
Right.
And now she doesn't have any problems with her Zoom anymore.
Wow. That is
Yeah,
good to know.
yeah.
Wow. So definitely you heard what Abby can do here, and she's a genius at all things IT, is what I'm hearing. So Abby, where is the best place that you want people to reach you at?
Well, the most of my work comes through my Calendly link, which is simply calendly.com/Abidel, my first name. And that's where most of my work comes from. But I do have a toll-free number that people can call and we can work out a date. Um, and I also have a long distance text. So I've got all these options that people can reach me.
Perfect. What is your 800 number? I'm going to put it in the comments.
Sure. 1-888-257-8477.
Mhm. Perfect. I think I have I didn't put the phone number in there, but I in the show notes, but I did put all the other your social media links and things like that so people can definitely get a hold of you because I mean seriously, it is and much needed, especially with all the cyber attacks and things like
Oh
that
yeah,
that have been lately. Is just and for somebody like myself that has not a clue about IT and doesn't care to learn, because I figured that's why I have friends and family to figure that out. And people like you, because I mean, I can figure out the basics and I can figure out a program, but to get into the nuts and bolts of it, yeah, that's not me. Um,
yeah.
and how ironic tonight we had issues,
Technical issues, yes.
technical issues. I
I
think
have
what
to
I might have to
investigate
do,
that.
I think now that you said that you're on a Mac, I think that that might be part of the problem. Of course, I don't know. Tim, do you use Mac when you're on your streaming? I don't have a Mac, but I know that with StreamYard it has
I've done StreamYard on Mac before and
oh,
not
have
had
you?
an issue.
I
Uh,
don't know. Maybe
yeah,
I'll have to restart my computer. Maybe that's it because we tested all the mic. It's all both our mics. He uses Mac mainly, so
yeah.
I don't know. It must just be.
Well, Mac is the
It's
most durable.
okay. So I've heard that, and okay, what is the best computer? That's one question to get
Well,
out there.
the everybody has different criteria for what they need, and it really is hard to say what's the best. What I can say is I've used a Mac for 12 years, and now my spouse is using the same Mac, and she's been using it for a year now with still life ahead of it. And we
Ah,
only formatted it so that it was in her name, her Apple ID.
right.
That's the only reason we formatted it.
Wow.
Windows, commonly you have to format sometime or another.
Right. Wow. Tim says, "Let us know. Are you team PC or team Mac?" Let's make this a 4-hour show. No, my friend.
I am both.
You're both.
I'm not Team Mac or Team PC. I'm Team Computer.
Oh, there you go. And that's who you want working on your computers. So if you have any issues, oh, Tim says he's both too. If you have any issues, definitely go to 1-888-257-8477 and give Abby a call tonight. Don't wait.
Don't wait.
You heard her hours and she's ready to work with you. Um, and she's not limited to just Canada, like she had mentioned before. She does have other options, so she can definitely help you with all your, I'm not going to say PC needs. I guess it's computer needs because I didn't realize when I
Yes.
say PC it means something a personal computer versus. See, I'm learning the
Yes.
lingo, learning
Yeah.
the lingo.
You got it.
Is there any last words that you'd like to say, Abby, before we wrap this up?
Um, that is a question I wasn't expecting. I would have to say um, I open people up to the enjoyment of their Windows computer and Mac and Linux too.
Right. Open the door to the window. I like that.
Yeah. If you have me on full screen, you'll see that I've got a window in my background here.
Well, let me go to just you. Oops, no, wrong thing. Let's go this way.
There's my
Nope.
window.
Oh, hold on. Oh, there you go. There's her window.
Yeah. Open people up to their Windows computer and Mac and Linux too.
There. I love that. Thank you so much to everybody that's in the comments for joining us tonight and the people on the replay. So if you're watching this in your team replay, type team replay in the comments for wherever you're watching, and definitely let us know if you're team Mac or team PC. And like we said, if you have any questions whatsoever with your PC, give Abidel a call tonight. And Abidel, thank you so much for joining our show tonight. We truly appreciate you, and glad we got over the IT hump at the beginning.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. All right, folks. And don't forget to be unstoppable in all that you do. And don't forget, for all your doTERRA oil needs, reach out to beoilywithbonnie.com or give her a call or a text at 810-414-0929. With that, be unstoppable in all that you do, and see you same time, same channel next week. Bye for now.